Anne Grietje Franssen, thank you for your time. Recently, a right-wing politician burned a copy of the Holy Quran in front of the Turkish embassy in Stockholm. This, of course, led to protests in many Muslim countries. How big is the story in Sweden where you are now? Is it the talk of the town?
It is quite a big story. Of course, news travels fast and it passes fast. So there's other big news stories that has been replacing it. But it is a big story, and it wasn't the burning of the Quran itself that resulted in such a big public outcry. But it was mostly the location and the timing, I think, that garnered so much attention in Sweden. Mm-hmm. Sweden is in the middle of its NATO application, and Turkey's President Erdogan is the main reason that application is stalling right now. So burning a Quran in front of the Turkish embassy in Stockholm hasn't done the situation any good. So that has been the main angle in Swedish media. Mm-hmm. What will Ankara's response be?
Mm-hmm. And why would someone burn the Quran? I mean, like in the Middle East, like you cannot even imagine something like this can happen. Why is this allowed to happen in a country like Sweden? And the Quran burner even had police protection, right?
Right, that's true. Sweden, or for Sweden, freedom of expression is a fundamental part of democracy. Mm-hmm. And of the state. And so the authorities are very hesitant to limit that right. Having said that, hate speech is also prohibited in Sweden. So then it becomes a semantic question almost whether burning a Quran equals hate speech or not. Mm-hmm. So our Prime Minister, his name is Ulf Kristersson, he has condemned this action. But of course, he also has good reasons to do so because he wants to swiftly become a NATO member.
Mm-hmm. You spoke about the impact of that on the NATO membership of Sweden. Now I just want to understand the Russia angle in all this. The burning of the Quran by this politician, he after he did that, he actually said, I was asked to burn the Quran by another Swedish journalist whose name is Chan Frick. Can you explain to our audience who this Chan Frick is?
Mm-hmm. Chan Frick, he is a Swedish journalist. He has his own news platform, which is a far-right news platform. And he also supports, as a consultant, the far-right party in Sweden, which is called the Sweden Democrats. So that is this person, Chan Frick. To be honest, I didn't know him before all this happened. So I'd say he's quite a marginal figure, at least in some circles. Some years ago, he also worked for Russian media mm-hmm. as a freelancer. And I mean, this is also years ago, but he expressed sympathy towards Putin. And this was before the war. But still, he seems to be quite pro-Russia and pro-Putin.
And he paid for the demonstration permission for the politician who burned the Quran.
That is right. It was him who paid like $30 or so mm-hmm. For permission for this demonstration. But after the demonstration, he said that he didn't know that the Quran would be burned. So he said, like, I paid for the demonstration, but it wasn't my idea to burn a Quran.
Okay, some people are now making the connection, of course, and are saying Russia must have told this right-wing journalist to convince the politician to burn the Quran and to derail the NATO membership of Sweden. What do people in Sweden think?
I think most Swedes doubt that Russia initiated this Quran burning. Having said that, the Swedish far right generally is against joining NATO. So it's not such a stretch to assume that some members of the far right are trying everything they can to hinder the process.
But does it mean that Russia is telling them to do that?
Most Swedes don't think so, but of course we cannot be sure. We don't know for certain, but he says he isn't being told by Russia to do this or that. So this journalist says, no, it was of my own accord, and the Danish politician بالودان says the same, like, no, it was just for my own initiative that we did this demonstration and that we burned the Quran.
And where is the journalist now?
He is still in Sweden. He still works in Sweden. He has a Russian partner, but in Sweden. Yeah, so he's not...
Like, is he reachable? Can people talk to him? Or is there a chance that he might suddenly end up in Russia or show up in Russia?
I doubt it. People still talk to him. He still is on the news shows. Journalists interview him. So as far as I know, he will stay in Sweden.
I understand. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.